Welcome to the 27th episode of Proofless, where we unravel the enduring mysteries of America's unsolved cases, stories that linger in the shadows, defying resolution and anchoring families to a restless hope. I'm your host, Anna Berger, and today we're stepping into the vibrant, sultry streets of New Orleans, Louisiana, a city of jazz, Mardi Gras, and hidden secrets where a young man's disappearance in 1987 shook a community to its core. We're exploring the case of Christopher James Reid, a 20-year-old aspiring musician who vanished after a night in the French Quarter, leaving behind a trail of fragmented clues and a mystery that remains proofless without his body or clear answers. This is a story of a young man chasing his dreams, a single evening that altered everything, and a family's unyielding pursuit of the truth. So, settle in for a deep dive into a case that continues to haunt the Crescent City. New Orleans in 1987, a city of rhythm and risk. It's June 1987 in New Orleans, a city of about 500,000, where the Mississippi River meets the Gulf of Mexico, weaving a tapestry of French, Spanish, and Creole influences. Known for its jazz clubs, beignets, and Mardi Gras revelry, New Orleans pulses with life. The French Quarter hums with tourists and street performers, while neighborhoods like Uptown with its Victorian homes and oak-lined streets offer a quieter charm. The city thrives on tourism, shipping, and oil, but the 1980s bring challenges. The FBI's 1987 Uniform Crime Report notes a surge in violent crime in urban centers, with New Orleans grappling with rising assaults and abductions, often linked to its transient population and bustling nightlife. Uptown, where Christopher lives, is a middle-class haven of community potlucks and church gatherings, but its proximity to the Quarter's bars and I-10's thoroughfares creates vulnerabilities. The Mississippi River, with its strong currents and swampy bayous, looms as a silent keeper of secrets. Christopher James Reid, A Life in Tune. Christopher James Reid is a 20-year-old with a lopsided grin and a passion for music. Born on August 9, 1966, to Michael and Diane Reid, he's the middle child, with an older sister Laura and a younger brother, Nathan. With his dark, curly hair, brown eyes, and wiry frame, Christopher is a familiar sight in Uptown, strumming his acoustic guitar on his porch. A 1985 graduate of Jesuit High School, he's enrolled at Loyola University, studying music theory, with dreams of becoming a jazz guitarist like Wes Montgomery. He plays gigs at small venues like Tipitina's, earning tips with soulful renditions of Summertime. His father, Michael, a tugboat captain, and mother, Diane, a librarian, raised their family in a 2-story home on St. Charles Avenue, its walls adorned with Christopher's gig posters. He's close with his siblings, jamming with Laura, a flutist, and teaching Nathan chords. Friends describe him as charismatic but cautious, always calling home after late gigs. Christopher's life is steeped in New Orleans musical culture. He works part-time at a record store on Magazine Street, saving for a Gibson Les Paul guitar. His free time is spent in the French Quarter, soaking up jazz at Preservation Hall, or sketching street scenes in his notebook. He rides a beat-up Schwinn bike, weaving through uptown streets, his Walkman playing The Police, or U2. Christopher dates casually, often meeting women at gigs, but is single in 1987, focused on his music. His friend, Tommy LeBlanc, recalls Christopher mentioning an odd encounter at the record store. A customer, a man in his 30s, who'd linger, asking about his gig schedule. Christopher shrugged it off but seemed uneasy, checking the store's locks more often. The night of June 20th, 1987. On June 20th, 1987, New Orleans is warm and humid, with temperatures in the mid-80s and a breeze carrying the scent of magnolias. Christopher plays a set at the Maple Leaf Bar in Uptown, finishing around 10 p.m. He tells Diane he's meeting friends at a French Quarter club, the Blue Nile, for a late-night jam session. Dressed in a black t-shirt, jeans, Converse sneakers, and a leather wristband, he grabs his guitar case and rides his bike toward the Quarter, a 15-minute trip. At the Blue Nile, he joins Tommy, his bandmate Sarah, and a few Loyola classmates. jamming to Ain't Misbehavin' under neon lights. Witnesses recall Christopher's energy, his fingers flying over the fretboard. Around 1 a.m., he tells Tommy he's heading home, citing an early shift. He declines a ride, saying, "The bike's faster." Tommy sees him pedal away on Decatur Street around 1:15 a.m. This is the last confirmed sighting of Christopher James Reed. His route home likely takes him through the quarter's quieter edges, past Rampart Street, where streetlights dim and crowds thin. A bartender, Lisa Moreau, sees a cyclist resembling Christopher near Rampart at 1:20 a.m. When he doesn't return by 3 a.m., Diane calls Tommy, then the New Orleans Police Department, NOPD, by 4 a.m. Officer David Landry takes the report. 5 feet 9 inches, 150 pounds, dark curly hair, brown eyes, last seen in a black t-shirt. The NOPD initially suspects a late night out, but Michael insists Christopher is reliable. His wallet, keys, and guitar picks remain at home. The investigation begins. On June 21st, a street vendor finds Christopher's Schwinn bike in an alley off Rampart Street, its front wheel bent and chain off. His guitar case, empty, is nearby, scuffed but intact. The NOPD, led by Detective Marie Fontenot, a seasoned investigator, escalates the case. Volunteers, neighbors, Loyola students, and members of St. Charles Presbyterian search the quarter, bayous, and Mississippi River banks. On June 22nd, a jogger finds Christopher's leather wristband, its clasp broken, in a lot near Elysian Fields Avenue, 200 yards from the bike. The Louisiana State Police Lab analyzes the items, finding no blood or fingerprints, only dirt and asphalt traces. The case shifts to a suspected abduction, and Fontenot sets up a command post at the NOPD's 1st District Station. Fontenot's team retraces Christopher's movements. Tommy confirms he was upbeat, planning a gig the next weekend. Sarah recalls a man in a dark cap watching their set, but details are vague. Moreau, the bartender, saw a man in a pickup truck near Rampart when Christopher cycled by, but didn't see them interact. A taxi driver, Paul Ruiz, reports a cyclist near Elysian Fields at 1:30 a.m., followed by a truck. But poor lighting obscured details. The NOPD canvasses Rampart Street, finding a partial tire track near the wristband, but overnight rain erases it. Cadaver dogs alert to a scent in the lot, but excavation yields only debris. The case grips New Orleans, dominating the Times-Picayune and WDSU-TV. A June 23rd headline, "Musician Vanishes in French Quarter," features Christopher's band photo. The Reeds offer a $5,000 reward, raised to $65,000 with donations from Tipitinas and local businesses. Tips flood in. A clerk reports a young man in Baton Stefano, a 1989 case in Biloxi. A tourist claims he saw a similar-looking man near Baton Rouge. None are verified. The FBI joins on June 25th, citing I-10's proximity, but finds no interstate movement. Divers search the Mississippi River, and helicopters scan the bayous, but no trace emerges. By July 1987, the case is a suspected homicide stalled by no body or forensic evidence. Suspects and leads. The NOPD pursues several suspects. Robert Bobby Landry, a 31-year-old bouncer at the Blue Nile, matches the record store customer's description. He asked about Christopher's gigs and was seen near Rampart that night. Questioned on June 26th, Landry claims he was working until 2 a.m., partially confirmed by a coworker. His truck has similar tires to the track, but a search finds no evidence. He fails a polygraph, citing stress, but is released. James Jimmy Dupont, a 26-year-old dock worker with a 1985 assault charge, was spotted near Elysian Fields in a pickup. He claims he was at a bar, unverified. A search of his home finds no link. A drifter, Eddie Coleman, seen near the quarter, has an alibi in Mobile, confirmed by a bus ticket. Theories of the crime. The primary theory is an opportunistic abduction. The bike, guitar case, and wristband suggest a struggle. The Mississippi River, or Bayou, St. John are likely disposal sites. A 1988 tip about a bag in the bayou leads nowhere. A targeted attack, possibly tied to the record store customer, is considered. Landry's behavior suggests stalking, but evidence is thin. A trafficking or robbery theory linked to New Orleans port lacks proof despite a 1987 FBI report on local crime. The Reeds become advocates, Michael searching bayous, Diane distributing flyers. They appear on America's Most Wanted in 1988, raising the reward to $85,000 by 1989. The Christopher Reed Foundation, founded in 1988, supports 15 missing persons cases by 1989-1995. The toll is heavy. Michael battles depression, Diane keeps Christopher's guitar, and Laura and Nathan struggle with guilt. Vigils at Loyola draw hundreds. Investigative renewals. In 1993, Detective Paul Thibodeau re-interviews Landry, now in Baton Rouge, who fails another polygraph. A 1998 tip about a buried instrument in Bayou. St. John prompts a radar search, finding nothing. In 2010, the NOPD tests the wristband for DNA, but it's degraded. A 2020 podcast, Crescent City Secrets, gains 4 million downloads, sparking a 2021 tip about a deceased bouncer's confession, which dead ends. In 2023, the FBI profiles the abductor as a local male, 20 to 40 in 1987, likely a loner. A 2024 drone search of the bayous finds no evidence. New Orleans adds streetlights to Rampart Street, and Loyola implements safety escorts. The Reed Foundation supports 25 cases by 2025, and Michael's 1989 testimony aids Louisiana's missing persons database. Reddit and X link Christopher's case to a 1986 mobile disappearance, but no evidence connects them. The Reeds, in their 70s, keep Christopher's records. Diane tells the Times-Picayune in 2025, he's still playing somewhere. The proofless case lacks a body, leaving questions. Contact the NOPD at 504-658-6000 or ChristopherReedFoundation.org. Share at prooflesspodcast.com or on X with #ChristopherReed. Join us next time. Keep searching.